Yeah, it's been a real complicated profession. Hard to trust when you don't ever know people's intentions. Keep it independent. When they try to stop you, say, nah, homie, this is the way. Hey, yeah, so legit. OG, call me Boba Fett. You a little Padawan kid, taking notes and sit. I hold my head up high, just repping for these comic nerds, cosplayers, gamer kids, movie nuts, what a world. Yeah, it's used to think we don't exist, right? And now it's cool to like the things we always did, right? I would be mad, but if I think about it twice, I'm just happy that we're getting all this dope content. So I just keep it cool, honey, bunny, deadly like a Mace Windu. When I'm playing in Desert Rick, the only time I play by rules. In a different lane, I've been doing my thing, but just like Rocket, y'all been confusing me for Rabbit. Stop it.
Rabbit is correct and clearly the smartest among you.
I roll in solo, I'm stealing the show, that's Donald Glover. I pull the crossbow like Chewie and y'all show up for cover. The bounty hunter in the game with these raps. I just get the puck, check the fob, take them out, secure the bag. Yeah, midichlorians course through the veins. And I don't know what that means, they sure keep it vague. Wanna stop me, it's obvious you're insane. If you thinking that you ever gon' hit me with stormtrooper aim. Yeah, they calling me Death Star, I'm about to blow up. I may be cute, but I'm also deadly, that's Baby Yoda. I'm in the booth, give me time to reshoot. Now I'ma show you why they're scared of me like Vader at the end of Rogue One. Hey, there ain't a beat I think I couldn't rip through. It's like I powered this microphone up with kyber crystals. Firing missiles out the Falcon in this battle, and I'm about to take its flow to this universe. Call me Jon Favreau. Yeah, loving the light, but I'm really been feeling the dark entice me. I might go psycho, Kylo Palpatine, Dark Maul and Snoke. I'm grabbing the mic and thinking they got the skill. Step up and try me, I don't gotta be a fucking Jedi to force the show. Yeah, I think I found the droids you're looking for. We'll be at Comic-Con with all my people getting geeks. I'm like the Kevin Smith of rap, getting paid to tour. Talk about the shit I love and do it independently. So love the anime, Marvel, your favorite shows in DC. Anything to make you feel an escape from the stress. Do your thing, don't be afraid to be yourself, believe me. They can never hurt you with the best Star armor fit. Yeah, I've been paying all these dues. Amateurs, you couldn't last a day up in my shoes. Still there's people who've been praying that I lose, but like Mando's helmet, I will not be removed, no. I'm going Cara Dune, locked and loaded. Training like I'm Luke, always stay devoted, yeah. Waiting for the Mandalorian Season 2 to drop. Until then, I've spoken.
This is the way.
I have spoken.
This is the way.
Hi, and welcome to Toy Photographer. Today, we're introducing a new segment. It's called Movies That Inspire the Pop. So, my name's Patrick, and today we have a guest on. His name's Will from Padawan Pops. And what we'll be doing today is discussing the pop and basically the movie scene that inspired it. So, today we're going to actually go over Rey from The Power of the Galaxy, number 577. So without further ado, let me bring on Will.
Hey, Patrick, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure. So I know we've been talking about different sequel movies, and they seem to kind of be a little hotbed of interest, for some.
A little bit.
right. And so we wanted to have you on because I thought this was one of those pops that, like, in my opinion, and I know like Christopher from Seriously Star Wars and others have said that we really thought this was a game changer when it came to Star Wars Funko. So,
yes.
I'd love to get your thoughts on it, and then we'll jump into the chat forum after that, and then we'll kind of play the clip and kind of go and talk about the clip itself and the movie, and we'll go from there. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great. So,
all right.
For the pop, first of all, The Rise of Skywalker, I will say, is my least favorite movie. At the same time, I enjoy collecting Rey Funko Pops. If you look over my shoulder here, you might be able to see the Rey shelf. I think it might be that one right there, maybe. But that Rey that we're looking at today is my favorite Rey pop, I think. For reasons like what you and Christopher said, it's a game changer for Star Wars Funko Pops. If I have 150 Funko Pops that are Star Wars, 147 of them are just standing there, and
Correct.
three of them are not. And this is one of those three, and this is the only levitating Star Wars Funko Pop that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
So,
No, you know what? There's
yeah.
one other now. I would say the one other is Watto.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, he flies, right? Like he's
the only
actually
other
as he is.
one.
That makes a lot of sense because that's how he is 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
So I should have grabbed mine to have on the stream.
look at I just think that the detail on this is just
Yep.
phenomenal. I mean, they did such a great job. And you know what was funny was even when I was just kind of putting a thumbnail together for this and looking at it, and I was amazed just noticing how the eyes were done. Like it was just so subtle. And
Yeah.
they're just so good. Look at the little bit of raised lash
Yeah.
for the eyelashes. Otherwise, it's just basically a skin colored pop eye, you know, like
It is,
pop
yeah.
style Funko eye.
I've never noticed that. That's
Right.
and Funko eyes are goofy anyways, right? Like that's kind of the staple of Funko eyes. And
Right. But
and
it's just
this
kind
is
of
not.
funny when you see it like that. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, but it's such a good sculpt. And, you know, I really love the detailing in the sculpting of the hair. I mean,
Mhm.
it's so good. So good. And I really love
Yeah.
the floating and stuff like that.
Oh
So
yeah, it's a great pop, and just I have it sitting with the rest of my Power of the Galaxy pops, and I'll say it's probably the coolest Power of the Galaxy pop too. Like it's a very neat one.
yeah, it's I think it's one of the better ones, but I still have to go with the Soak of the White though, right? That's
Oh, that is a Power of the Galaxy.
that's the
True.
Power of the
I
Galaxy.
don't
That,
have
I
that
still
one,
think
so
that trumps
that's
most of my collection. That's one of my all-time
yeah.
favorites. Like, and like I've got like Yoda, Lesson in the Force, Raising
Mhm.
the X-Wing. I love that's one of my faves too. But like, I still go back to Ahsoka the White, and then my
Yeah.
Lights and Sound Vader a lot as some of my favorites. But
Mhm.
this got up there, I think, really in my like kind of collection. Like, wow, this is one of those phenomenal pops.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good one. I agree.
So let's pop into our chat and see what we've got going on here. All right, Christopher, seriously, I've been looking forward to this.
Yes.
Nice, thank you. We have Padawan Pops out there. Let's go.
Running double duty.
It's kind of hard when you're the man in the chair and doing it all. So yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you. And then Christopher, seriously, Star Wars. Yes, the music's back. Yes, that little tune by Echo, The Mandalorian. It's so cool. It is so much fun. Cool intro. Thank you very much. Thank you. I wanted to kind of have something kind of fun and have that kind of like old Hollywood, like beep 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 beep.
Yeah.
Exactly what was going on in my head.
Uh-huh.
I was able to find through Epidemic Sound, and it was just a great
Yeah.
tune to kind of throw in there. Christopher, very suiting. Have the pop for Will's favorite sequel, Rise of the Skywalker.
Hey, Rise of Skywalker was still good in this scene.
Right? It was that whole intro with her training was pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah, the rest of the movie hadn't happened yet. So.
You still had hope. You had hope. But all that we saw in the trailer, so it was like, they showed us the good stuff, and then the rest was like, it's a great pop. Love to see an old Luke Skywalker floating from the last jet. That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
That's a really good call out there, Chris. I really like that idea. So, well, if you like, let's just jump in and I'll play the clip. And then from that, we can have a little discussion about it. All right.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Right. Let's get that clip queued up here. Here we go.
Be with me. Be with me. Be with me. They're not with me. Ugh.
Ray. Be patient.
I'm starting to think it isn't possible to hear the voices of the Jedi who came before.
Nothing's impossible.
Nothing's impossible.
So, I mean, come on. I think when you see that scene, they just nailed it.
They did. I agree. And so this scene too, I'm sure you know it, it's a play on the running joke for the sequel trilogy where it's like lifting rocks, right?
Yeah.
So
Moving
J.J.
on.
Abrams in episode 7 was going to have rocks floating around Luke. And they were like, no, I think there was kind of that conversation where he's going to be cut off from the Force, and that would just be kind of weird. And then episode 8, they still played on the floating rocks, where he's like, what do you think this is, floating rocks? And then finally we see her floating rocks. So that's like a little Easter egg, if you will, that went through all 3 movies.
I agree. I agree that I followed that as well. I thought it was pretty clever.
Yeah.
And this was just really cool because it still kind of tries to harken back to Empire Strikes Back with Luke and Yoda training on Dagobah.
Yeah.
So kind of cool. What I really thought was great about this is kind of off screen. There'd been some from the last film to this. There'd been some training with Leia, and you just get a snippet at the end of that clip there from the scene. And I thought that was a really nice touch to have,
Yeah, for sure. I agree. This entire, like, if you would have kept playing it, which obviously you'd probably get copyrighted if you did, but if you kept playing it,
right.
and she goes through that little training course, I will say it's not my favorite movie, but at the same time, there's cool stuff in it as well. Like that training course where she's running through and doing all the little Jedi things, jumping over the cliffs on either side, and all the different things she does. That's a cool thing. I mean, it's a very neat scene to see where she's came from over the past year, because that was a year in between 8 and 9.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was really cool. I think also just the character itself had changed a lot more. Like she just looked a little
Yeah.
more put together with it on a mission. I just thought like awesome. Just
No,
100.
I agree. And Daisy Ridley, like she did an incredible job as Rey. I mean, whether you like Rey the character or not, I don't think you can say anything bad about Daisy Ridley the actress and how she handled Rey. I mean, incredible performance through 3 movies.
I agree. Like she was not just I think trying to go through it like as we found out through interviews and stuff, not really knowing who her character was
Right. Yeah.
tied to, right?
Yeah.
We know that she's going to be tied to somebody, but we hadn't figured it out yet. So imagine going and having to be an actress trying to put yourself there going through all 3 movies.
Oh,
And I
yeah, it'd
think
be
that's
so
why
hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Adam Driver had an easier time because that was part of a major discussion he had when he started the role. He's so good. So
Yeah.
I think for him to get there and understand how he's now the baddie, and he knew what was going to happen, ahead of time so that he could put himself there so you can believe it, and I think Daisy Ridley did a great job getting us there through all 3 without really knowing, because she could have been a Kenobi, she could have been this, I I kind of thought for a long time it was Palpatine just from that first movie, how she was kind of the stabbing
His
gestures
fighting
reminded me of,
style. Yeah.
yeah, it reminded me of Palp. So I for sure that it was my hint, and I don't know if the choreography was done to do that or not. I tend to think they do things for a reason,
For sure.
and they kind of throw it out there and see if anyone
Yeah.
picks up, like
See if it
us,
sticks.
pick
Yeah.
up on it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I just thought it was, it was great.
Oh
So
yeah. JJ wanted her to be a Palpatine for them in the beginning. I don't care what any history or anything says. She fought like a Palpatine. They kept kind of referencing that she was someone important in episode 7. He just bypasses episode 8 in Rise of Skywalker, and I will take it to the grave that I think he wanted her to be a Palpatine the whole time. Otherwise, she would not have fought like him.
You know what? And I think you're right 100% on that, because one of the things that I've always thought with it is that it would be how awesome it would be cool, right? You have Anakin and Ben, kind of as a thing, but you have the the characters' names already that, so you just
Yep.
can't keep pulling back those references to Kenobi, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for me, how awesome would it be the guy who, basically tried to raise the father and then corrupt him and then have him be Vader,
Yeah.
now has, a granddaughter, now he can
Mhm.
do it right, like,
Yeah.
so and they could have played that so much better if
Yeah.
they were going to bring Palpatine back in that way. They should have kind of had some kind of intro that way earlier on.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's just my again. That's maybe off
Story for another
on
day.
point with the scenes we're talking about, but
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting, and the way they tied all three. I know the Last Jedi got a lot of flack, but I
Yeah.
look at all of the films. There's really great scenes in every one, because you can't
Yeah.
hate the Last Jedi, in my opinion, because just watch Andy Serkis's, his performance. He was
Yeah.
insane.
He's good in everything he does.
He's so good. But like when he had Ray in that room, and like, dude, the dialogue is just
Yeah,
gripping,
yeah, yeah.
gripping.
For
So,
sure.
I'm not like, oh, you have to love everything, but I would say, like, even in Rise of Skywalker, there's bits and pieces that I enjoyed.
Yeah, I agree.
That I could just chop up and re-edit myself and be like, yeah, I'd watch that all day
Yeah,
long.
I agree with that. Yeah, there's parts to every movie for the most part that I see that I like. So yeah, there's
Right.
a lot in Star Wars Episode 9 that I like. There's just other things that I don't. But the scene
See,
we're
as a
talking about
kid,
today, I like that one.
I always said as a kid, when I got Return of the Jedi, I wanted to see a place full of Wookiees, not Ewoks, right? So
Yeah.
that was my disappointment as a kid. Like, oh man, but then I thought the payoff was in the prequels when we got to Kashyyyk. I was like, that is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Like, that was the one thing I loved about the prequels, is that there were so many little nods to things that I had been wondering for 30 years,
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
was going to happen, stuff like that. And one thing that I enjoyed, I don't know if you picked up on it, but there was a real kind of age play in this, kind of linking like my generation to this new generation of Star Wars
Right.
fans getting
Yeah.
introduced to the sequels.
Mhm.
It's kind of like, Luke Skywalker, isn't he? Is he a legend? Is he real? Like,
Right. Yeah.
the way they did that, I thought was so good. And you're Han Solo?
Yeah, and it is cool too, like just in the general like the time frame they did in between, episode 4 and episode 7, isn't it like in real time, like it was set however so many years
I
later,
think
and
it was,
that's
because
or it
when
was close to it, if nothing
yeah, because then
else.
I think when 3PO is on that planet in the last one, he says something. It was like, and it happened to be the same anniversary of like Star
Right.
Wars or something.
Yeah.
The way it all lined up, just kind of
Mhm.
happenstance, kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's what they do. That's what they do. But one other thing I was gonna put up here is, so one of the things that I had done, Will, was actually photograph this pop.
Oh, let's see it.
Yes. So for those that hadn't seen it on my channel or on my social media, so this is kind of what I was going for, right? This is the image I actually even used to reference what I was going to photograph with this pop. But just to really give Funko like how well they nailed it, when I show you the image I shot of it, it is going to knock your socks off. So hold on one second. Bam. So
Wow.
going from that last image to this, I was like, oh, it was really easy to pull off, in my opinion, because they did such a great job at sculpting it.
Oh,
You know,
this is an incredible shot. Like Funko should, I think this about every picture you take, but Funko should be commissioning you to be promoting their pops because this is incredible.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Hold on here. Let's go into. I wanted to see, we have some chat to catch up on here. Pedal on Bob's laugh.
That is in response to Christopher.
See here. Hold on. Put the screen. There we go. Also, where is our Leia pop from Rise of Skywalker?
It's a good question.
Right. Hello there. Thank you, Tony from Star Wars Sith joined us. Hey, Tony, Padawan Pops. Christopher. Hey, Tony. Star Wars Sith. All right. So we are caught up. So again, this is just something I wanted to put on for a new segment, Will, and I was so happy to have you
Yeah.
on tonight. It was, I know it was kind of, you had a tough schedule, so I
No, you're
appreciate
good.
you
Thanks
coming
for
on.
accommodating. I appreciate that.
Not a problem. But this is what it's going to be. So I'm going to do short segments with the guests. We're going to talk about the scene in the movie for a few minutes, the pop that inspired it. It's just a quick, one and done for each pop, and kind of going through different ones and different scenes, because I know so many people have so many pops, and it's kind of interesting as to what, is the draw to that, what scene or what did it for you that made you just want to see that Funko Pop and have it in your collection. So before we go, the question I'd like to ask you is, what is your favorite Funko Pop that you have that it immediately brings you back to that scene that you just love so much?
Yeah, so I actually was just thinking about this when you were going over all this, and the one that comes to mind, I've actually posted about it. Like, I think it's the reason I like it so much is the C3PO sitting in the chair, because for whatever reason in Return of the Jedi, and C3PO is the funniest Star Wars character anyway. So
Absolutely.
when they think he's a deity, and then Luke is playing on it with making him levitate and stuff, that just cracks me up so much. So when I see that pop, it takes me straight to that scene, and he's like, put me down,
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I think everyone has that kind of like bum, 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 the pop.
Yeah.
Like, I think for me, is kind of, until the Ahsoka the White came,
Yeah.
would be my Darth Vader lights and sound. I just love the
Oh,
lights and sound, but
that's the Bespin one, right?
yeah, and it
Yeah.
takes you right back to that scene, and that was epic. That was epic.
No,
Epic.
this is such a great idea. Like, I'm not being paid to promote this. This is like, I genuinely think this is so cool, because we look at all these Funko Pops, and we just like collecting. Like, they look cool, we get them, but
Correct.
this takes us to the next level. Like, hey, why do you like this one so much? And we can take a step beyond it. So, per the usual, great idea on your part.
Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you very much. It was just something, because I don't have, I'm not always just putting just Star Wars content on
Yeah.
different like I've got you, Star Wars Sith, Diamond Fit, you guys at Noah, you guys are killing it out there, and I'm so happy to see you guys killing it. Like, your stuff is phenomenal. You guys are putting in the time and the work and the grind, and you're enjoying doing it, so it
Yeah.
doesn't become the grind. And that's why I started this, is because I just want to have a creative outlet. And so
Yeah.
I usually just get to show, my images and a little quick video behind it. And I, do the popcast with Lex
Yep.
and Christopher. So it's nice to now have my own kind of little platform to have guests on and talk about Funko in a different way.
Yeah.
And again, be able to kind of have Star Wars part of it, because that's
Yep.
all I collect, and that's all we really
For
collect.
sure. Yeah, that's all I collect
So
too.
exactly. Oh, thank you, Christopher. Great episode. Thank you very much. Oh, Will from Diamond Figs is here. Nice. Look
Yo,
at these
what's up?
studs. Thank you so much, man. So again, thanks so much, Will, for coming on. It was a true
Yeah.
pleasure. Until the next time, my friends. Thank you very much for coming on. This is Pat for Toy Photographer, and that was movies that inspired the pop. So until then, have a great night.